Hey folks, this is Kalani. So we know a bit more about how professions are going to work in Legion, and they're all looking pretty fantastic, but we can still only pick up 2 at a time. Some of them work really well together, while others can strike out on their own comfortably. With that in mind, one of the best professions for you to pick up and maintain in Legion. This one is a bit of a loaded question, because the answer is going to depend fully on yourself and how much time and effort you want to put into your professions. If you actually want to get something out of professions, you're the folks I want to talk to. Everything is adding up to gathering being a valuable asset, whether you're trying to make gold or save gold while crafting. There's 2 sets of materials you're going to need for pretty much every crafting profession. The first is your rare gathering material. For anyone who uses herbs, that's going to be Felwort. For anyone who uses ores, it's Infernal Brimstone. And for those lucky few using leather, you're going to need Felhides. As you might expect, these come from the respective gathering professions. You'll need to be 100 plus skill level in mining, herbing or skinning to unlock some new world quests, which appear once every about 3 days, and they will reward you with a handful of your rare material. This is currently the only way to obtain these items, meaning they are going to be quite sparse, and if you're buying them from players, expect to pay a healthy chunk of gold, at least for the first few months. If you want to grab a few for your own crafting needs without forking out a fortune, you'll need the gathering profession. The second set of materials is actually just one item, the blood of Sargeras. While this can come from a variety of sources, gathering is the only unlimited source. If you want some delicious blood without the help of a gathering tool, you'll be looking to world quests mostly. While they seem plentiful some days, others there's none in sight. This makes it a little frustrating if you're short 1 or 2 and can't really do much about it. Gathering professions give you a chance to loot Blood of Sargeras from any node after you unlock the second rank of the source you're gathering from, which really isn't too difficult, it just takes a bit of time spent gathering. The difference with the blood is that while you can buy and trade for your Felwort, Brimstone or Felhide, the Blood of Sargeras is bind on pickup, so you can't even trade it to alts. Seeing as gathering is super duper important with all the rare materials they can gather, and we're assuming they'll sell for a very pretty penny, how about we take double gathering to start? You'd want to get them to 100 either before Legion or before you hit 110 and keep them for a few weeks and rack in the extra gold from the rare gathering item you don't need for your crafting later on. When everything dies down or you get a little bored of gathering and want to start crafting, drop the extra gathering, so drop mining if you're not going to use the brimstone, etc., and pick up a crafting profession. The nice thing about this idea is you don't need 800 in a crafting profession to do the main bits and bobs. A few recipes do require 800, such as mounts, but the rest is all up for grabs. If having a low level profession really bothers you, save up enough Warlord's materials to rush it to 700. That way you can take all the gathering materials you want while leveling, stockpile rare materials at 110, sell what you don't want, make bank, and then continue as you normally would. Hell, if the money is good enough, you might just be able to keep the double gathering, sell everything, and buy the crafted items straight from other players. This is probably what I'll end up doing, though it does require a large time investment and a lot of effort. If you're looking for something a little less time intensive, I might have something for you too. So either way you look at it, gathering professions are more valuable now than they've ever been. 2 materials are more easily obtained that crafters need. If you want to be able to craft what you want, when you want, I suggest picking a crafting profession, either to make money or to make yourself some fun and useful items, and then pair it with a gathering profession. Obviously be smart about it, don't pick blacksmithing and herbing, that's not going to help you at all. The useful professions would be the ones you use to craft yourself some gear, tailoring, leatherworking and blacksmithing, and gear can be upgraded to 850 via the Obliterum Forge at launch, which, if I remember correctly, is the item level that normal raiding gear will start at, so it's not going to be the best gear available if you're in a well-progressing heroic or mythic guild. One saving grace is that there's no longer a limit to how many pieces of crafted gear you can equip. You can be rocking an entire set of crafted gear if that's what you want. Hopefully we'll be able to take gear higher when new raids release, allowing crafted gear to remain competitive, and if you want to keep yourself out, one of these professions is going to be your go-to. If you want to sell gear for gold, you'll probably end up moving away from these professions as we near the end of raiding tiers, as I don't doubt crafted will always be behind mythic gear and maybe even behind heroic gear from raids. So when everybody gets geared up in heroic gear, selling gear probably isn't going to make you that much gold. Now, if you want to make gold throughout the expansion, I'd go with Inscription, Jewel Crafting, Enchanting, or Alchemy. Each help keep your character at its utmost potential in their own way, but they also help keep other people's characters at their utmost potential, which they'll happily pay out the ear for. Dual crafting has their prospecting and ore shuffles back, making it a very nice candidate. Alchemy is the same old reliable machine it always will be, creating flasks and potions. Enchanting stays very much the same, though with a more limited scope this time around. And then we have Inscription, which not only brings the Darkmoon card trinkets to the table, but also introduces the Vantus runes and the tomes required for talent switching. My money is currently on Inscription. I'm going to take Herbalism and Mining, stock up on materials to quickly level Inscription, gather as many rare materials as I can in the first week or two after launch, then swap over to Inscription to rake in that glorious Darkmoon card cash. If you don't want to swap your professions about at all, just take one gathering and one crafting and you should be fine. If you want to put in as little effort as possible and don't really care what professions have to offer, maybe just pick up 2 gathering professions, whatever you prefer. It's not going to matter much if you aren't that interested, and you can happily just gather whatever happens to be in front of you while leveling or questing and whatever you decide to do outdoors. Double gathering is going to be the best bang for your buck if you're not actively trying. So, decide what's best for you. Double gathering for almost passive gold generation, craft gear for yourself and take a gathering profession to help you, or take Inscription and Herbalism to make that sweet start of expansion gold. If you want to follow me into crazy, start with double gathering, make bank, and settle down with a crafting profession of your choice later on. If you have enough materials, who knows, maybe you can get away with 2 crafting professions after the double gathering. But that's it for this video. If you have any questions or queries, leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.